Welcome to The Explainer. So, today we're tackling a topic that, let's be honest, strikes a very specific, kind of terrifying fear into the hearts of tech enthusiasts everywhere. You know the exact feeling. Your home lab is humming along perfectly, the virtual machines are doing their jobs, and your storage hasn't betrayed you yet. But then, you get that upgrade itch. New hardware is arriving, and a newer Proxmox version is calling your name. Sounds like a fun weekend project, right? Well, until you realize you're basically about to perform open-heart surgery in your entire digital life.
Okay, let's dive into this, because there's a quote from the community that just perfectly captures why upgrading hardware is so stressful. A failed restore, after the old box has already been reformatted, is a small personal tragedy with fans spinning in the background. Oof, I mean that hits close to home, right? It's that deep-seated fear that a routine Sunday night migration is going to morph into a slow-motion data loss disaster. You wipe the old drive, go to restore on the new one, and nothing. Just the mocking sound of server fans. We're going to make absolutely sure that doesn't happen to you.
Consider this explainer your official survival guide. On our agenda, we're going to start by diagnosing that home lab upgrade itch. Then we'll look at the two main philosophies, the boring but safe backup route, followed by the fast direct migration. After that, we'll uncover a hidden hardware trap, look at your ultimate safety net, and finally wrap up with choosing your migration path.
All right, Section 1, the home lab upgrade itch and the anxiety of new hardware.
Let's set the stage here. You're looking to move from an older install, say Proxmox 84119, over to a fresh 9.2 installation on brand new hardware. The plan seems super logical. Back everything up on the old box, install fresh on the new machine, restore, grab a coffee. Simple. But you can kind of feel the doubt creeping in, can't you? Will those backups from the older version actually restore cleanly onto the newer one? Is this one of those it works in theory things that works for literally everyone on the internet except you when you actually need it to? Because this isn't just about software versions matching up. It's fundamentally about trust. You're putting your data's life in the hands of a progress bar.
Moving right along to Section 2, the boring but safe route, backup, restore, and breathe. When people ask the community how to handle this leap, a lot of veterans land on the exact same, very calm answer: the traditional backup and restore approach. It's not flashy, but man, boring is highly underrated when your data's on the line. They'll tell you flat out, a backup isn't a backup because a job completed, it's a backup when a restore works. Let that sink in. There's this brutal emotional honesty to that approach. It doesn't pretend the old hardware and the new hardware are the same environment. It acknowledges they're two completely different worlds. This method is literally like wearing a seatbelt. Sure, it takes a little more time, but if you're the kind of person who says, look, I don't want to roll the dice with my data, this route gives you something you can actually understand and control.
And this brilliantly illustrates the two competing philosophies in the home lab space right now. On one side, we've got the methodical safe route, making your archives, restoring a single VM to the new host, and testing it thoroughly before fully committing. On the flip side, we have the modern fast route, direct migration. You just point cluster A at cluster B and let the platform carry the guests right over.
Which brings us to Section 3, the fast direct migration via the Proxmox Datacenter Manager.
So if you're lucky enough to have both your old server and your new server powered up and humming at the exact same time, this option is incredibly seductive. The big promise here? Skipping the backup shuffle entirely. Now, if you haven't used Proxmox Datacenter Manager, it sounds like some heavy, complicated enterprise feature. But if you have, you know it's an absolute game changer. You just build a new server along the old one, point the data center manager at both, and essentially slide your workloads right across. It feels so modern. Way less copying files, less babysitting, zero wondering if your backup landed on the right drive, just direct movement. But, and this is a massive but, direct migration does absolutely not mean you don't need backups. Live migration is a convenience, okay? It's not a religion. The smart version of this fast approach still involves a verified backup sitting nearby, because the line between utter confidence and total arrogance, yeah, it's usually just one failing disk.
Let's get into Section 4, the hidden hardware trap, CPU settings and assumptions. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is it introduces the really uncomfortable detail that moving across totally different hardware, like going from AMD to Intel, can get incredibly messy. See, moving data is one thing, right? But what happens when you actually cross hardware boundaries? The trap here usually hides in your virtual machine settings, specifically the host CPU type. When you configure a VM with the host CPU type, you're hardwiring it to the specific physical features of that exact older processor. It carries those assumptions with it like heavy baggage. So you migrate that VM to the new hardware, and it suddenly panics because the physical foundation underneath it just changed completely. People experience this, watch their VMs crash, and immediately blame Proxmox version compatibility. Actually, scratch that. They blame everything but the hardware. But they're wrong. It's really a hardware identity issue caused by this one exact setting.
So to avoid a completely cursed migration, you've got to review your VM configurations before you move anything. Treat this like your pre-flight checklist. First, look at that CPU type. The community highly recommends switching it from host to a generic profile, something like x86-64v3, so your guests can just smoothly hop between totally different physical systems without a single hiccup. You also need to double-check network bridge names, storage names, any PCI pass-through you've got set up, disk controller types, and boot orders. Fixing these little details is literally what separates a buttery smooth migration from a weekend-ruining nightmare. And hey, even when you get it perfectly right, a quick reboot of the VM after it migrates usually helps settle things down nicely.
Moving to Section 5, your ultimate safety net, Proxmox Backup Server.
Okay, we really need to talk about Proxmox Backup Server, or PBS. This is one of those bulletproof tools that the community either absolutely adores or completely avoids because they think it sounds too complicated. Well, at least until they lose data and desperately wish they had it. So the crucial point is figuring out how to actually implement this safety net. There are 3 distinct camps here. Camp 1 says, go dedicated bare metal. Honestly, it's the cleanest approach because your backup infrastructure really shouldn't live inside the same server it's trying to protect. Camp 2 takes a more practical route, virtualized PBS. Running it as a VM, maybe on a totally separate Hyper-V cluster, is still way, way better than having no PBS at all. And finally, Camp 3 relies on manual backup files. Now, this is acceptable for a one-time move, sure, but do not kid yourself into thinking it's a solid long-term strategy. Ultimately, all 3 are totally valid for their specific use cases, but having only one fragile copy of your VMs, that is never ever an acceptable plan. Storage does not care about your optimism, for sure.
Which brings us to our final section, choosing your migration path, or as I like to call it, how to panic safely.
The absolute best path really just depends on what kind of pain you're willing to endure and how you want to manage your personal risk. But if there is one golden rule to take away from this entire explainer, it's this: do not upgrade the old box first just out of fear. A fresh install on the new hardware is absolutely the way to go because it keeps your old system completely untouched. During a migration, that old machine isn't junk yet. It is literally your lifeboat. If things go completely sideways on the new server, you can just plug the network cable back into the old one and bam, everything is exactly as you left it.
Let's move to and see how this builds into a highly practical, actionable plan for your hardware upgrade. Step 1. Build the new server and get your fresh Proxmox 9.2 installed. Step 2. Create fresh backups from your completely untouched, older 8.4.19 system. Step 3. Restore just one non-critical virtual machine as a test. Seriously, do not bring the whole stack online at once to fight their older twins on the network. And Step 4, check the boot sequence, the network, the services, and the logs. If everything looks solid, you can confidently proceed, either by continuing to restore from your backups or by spinning up the Datacenter Manager for a live migration.
So we've covered the tools, we've walked through the traps, and we laid out the step-by-step methods. But I want to leave you with this final kind of provocative thought. Migration itself isn't inherently dramatic. The community confirms all the time that older backups generally restore forward just fine. No, the real reason migration is scary is because it forces a very uncomfortable question that most home labs actively avoid. Do you actually trust your backups? Trust shouldn't just be a vibe, guys. It shouldn't be a hopeful assumption. It should be a tested restore. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and hey, best of luck with those hardware upgrades.